in the heart of the sprawling savannah, where the sun kisses the earth with a fiery passion. A kingdom once thrived under a golden age. The roar of the great lion, King Mufasa, was not a sound of terror, but a promise of protection, a symbol of a just and prosperous reign. His wisdom was as vast as the plains, his heart as warm as the African sun. Beside him stood his queen Sarabi, her grace and strength a mirror to his own. Their son, Simba, was the dawn of a new day, a cub full of mischief and promise, destined to walk in his father's paw prints. But where there is light, a shadow is always cast, and in the Pride Lands, that shadow had a name. Scar, Mufasa's younger brother, consumed by a jealousy that gnawed at his soul. He watched from the dark corners of Pride Rock, his green eyes gleaming with resentment. While Mufasa was blessed with brute strength and the love of the pride, Scar was gifted with a cunning mind, a serpent's charm that he coiled around his bitterness. He believed the throne was his birthright, stolen from him by his more favored older brother. This single, toxic thought festered, growing into a treacherous plot that would soon fracture the very heart of the kingdom. The tragedy that unfolded in the gorge was no accident. It was a meticulously crafted piece of Scar's ambition. He lured the impressionable Simba into the heart of danger, using his nephew's own curiosity as a weapon. The wildebeest stampede, a terrifying force of nature, was a tool in Scar's paws, and as Mufasa, ever the valiant king and loving father, leaped into the chaos to save his son, Scar saw his moment. The final, desperate plea for help, a brother reaching for a brother, was met with a chilling whisper. Long live the king. The fall was not just of a king, but of an entire era. With Mufasa gone, Scar manipulated the guilt-ridden Simba, twisting the young cub's grief into a weapon against himself. "Run away, Simba," he hissed. "Run away and never return." And Simba, a child convinced he was responsible for his father's death, fled into exile. The throne was now Scar's. He ascended Pride Rock, not with the noble roar of a true king, but with the cackle of a usurper, his hyena allies slinking out of the shadows to enforce his new, dark regime. The circle of life, once a vibrant, balanced ecosystem, was shattered. The Pride Lands began to wither under his tyrannical rule, the green grasses turning to dust, the rivers running dry. Years passed. The once thriving kingdom became a desolate wasteland, a reflection of its new king's empty heart. The lionesses, led by the ever-defiant Saravi, suffered under Scar's rule, their spirits tested but never broken. They held on to the memory of Mufasa, a flickering ember of hope in the suffocating darkness. Meanwhile, far from the sorrow of his homeland, Simba grew into a magnificent young lion. He lived a carefree life in a jungle paradise with his new friends, Timon and Pumbaa. Hakuna Matata, they taught him. No worries. He buried his past, pushing down the pain and the responsibility he had run from. He was a king in hiding, a prince who had forgotten his own identity. But the past has a way of catching up. A chance encounter with his childhood friend Nayla, who had fled the barren Pride Lands in search of help, shattered his peaceful existence. She saw not the carefree vagabond, but the rightful king. Her stories of Scar's tyranny, of the suffering of their pride, were a harsh reminder of the life he had abandoned. Still, the weight of his guilt was a heavy chain. It was Rafiki, the wise and mystical mandrill, who finally guided him back to himself. He led Simba to a pool of water, urging him to look closer. And there, in his own reflection, he saw the face of his father. "Look harder," Rafiki urged, and as the wind whispered through the trees, the clouds parted to reveal the spectral image of Mufasa himself, a magnificent constellation in the night sky. "Remember who you are," the voice of his father boomed, not with anger, but with profound love. "You are my son, and the one true king." Those words were the key that unlocked the cage of Simba's guilt. The fire of his lineage, the spirit of Mufasa, was reignited within him. The time for running was over. It was time to return. It was time to reclaim his destiny. Simba's return was like the first rains after a long drought. As he stood atop Pride Rock, the sky, as if on cue, began to storm. The confrontation was inevitable. Scar, momentarily shocked, quickly regained his composure. Using his old trick of manipulation, he forced Simba to confess his role in Mufasa's death, backing him to the very edge of Pride Rock, the same precipice from which his father had fallen. In a moment of arrogant triumph, Scar leaned in and whispered the terrible truth. "I killed That confession was Scar's undoing. Fueled by a righteous fury and the love for his father, Simba surged with a strength he never knew he possessed. The battle for Pride Rock was ferocious. Lioness against hyena. And finally, king against king. It was a clash of two worlds, the light of Mufasa's legacy against the darkness of Scar's ambition. In the end, Scar was defeated, not just by Simba's strength, but by his own treachery. His hyena allies, whom he so hazily betrayed, turned on him, sealing his fate. With the usurper gone, the rain washed away the dust and decay of Scar's reign. Simba, no longer a runaway prince, but a king in his own right, ascended Pride Rock. He let out a roar that echoed across the plains, a sound not of dominance, but of restoration. It was a promise to his pride, to the land, and to the memory of his father. The kingdom began to heal. The grasses grew green again, the herds returned, and the circle of life, once broken, was made whole. The legacy, torn apart by jealousy and deceit, was finally mended by courage, love, and the acceptance of one's true place in the great circle of life. Thank you for watching. If this story of rivalry and redemption resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales. Let us know in the comments which part of this divided bloodline story moved you the most. Until next time.